Lovers Quarrel. It's a long, sustained quarrel.
What's going on, world?
Hey, everybody.
It's your guy, TJ, Mr. New Cool.
And it's your girl, Dani, your sleep-deprived seahorse.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm always tired.
Always.
So, I mix it up a little bit.
For forever.
I identify with my tiredness because I am, mother and wife and teacher and grad student. So I wear many hats, and they make me sleepy.
And it's early as shit. So.
It is early. But now, not too early for this is. It's not too bad, but especially having an almost 2-year-old. So, because she, kids don't care at all.
Terrible twos.
At all.
Yes, definitely terrible twos.
God bless you. God bless you.
That's what we signed up for. But that's why they make them cute, honestly.
At least they cute.
Yeah, that's why they make them cute, because when they
So you saying that the baby was ugly, then it's just like a negative.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that's why most times
Ugly
babies
ass
are
baby
cute.
won't sleep.
We're not going to talk
Motherfucker
about
always
other
hungry.
people's children. We're not going to talk about people's kids.
Well, no, we're not talking about anybody specific. I'm just saying if, some people do have ugly kids.
I'm walking away from this one.
Oh, see, there we go. Well, listen here. Welcome to another episode of Lovers Quarrel. And you've heard that nice baritone voice that's in the background. So we've got a special guest, somebody I said we've admired for quite some time in this podcast game. So we're so glad to be able to sit down with him. And of course, we'll give you the formal, appropriate introduction a little later in the episode. But how you doing,
I'm
baby?
doing good. How you?
I'm actually okay.
Don't y'all live together?
Yeah, we do, but
You still got to check in.
you still gotta check. You have to. Like, living together sometimes means that you know less about what's going on with a person. You start becoming like two ships passing in the night when you got all this other stuff going on. So, you assume somebody's all right, but sometimes you got to stop and be like, hey, you good? Like,
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Y'all got to take time out to communicate with each other.
It did. That's
honestly,
honestly
for the most part, we do. But sometimes, like, if Dani got a paper because she's in grad school, it may be like, let me take Tatum so you can do what you got to do.
Yeah. She's zoned out. So.
Yeah, like I'm parked at the dining room table.
Or she go to her mother's so that way she can
like focus.
Or she'll go to Panera, so.
And
Panera's an internet spot?
Yeah, it like has a lot. Yeah,
I don't know
everybody.
white people places.
Yeah, it's a good place, and they got good soup and bagels and.
It's white people place.
Yeah,
Do black people have internet cafes?
Not really.
Not like the way like Panera and Starbucks are. I
feel like when I went to Philly, there's a place in Philly that has it.
Yeah.
But other than that,
It's like cheesesteaks and internet and Wi-Fi.
nah, it wasn't cheesesteaks, but it was like black owned, like spot where they had free internet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sometimes you got to do that, especially when you have like a little one, because like Tatum's not gonna care. She's gonna be like, mommy, and then
facts.
she's next thing I know, like I'm typing, I'm like with my right hand and I'm holding her with my left, and but.
Congratulations on grad school, though.
Thank you. May 22nd. I'm trying not to, fall
Holy
short.
Shit, you're close.
Yeah, I gotta get it done because it's still the last.
How long has it been?
So it's been, this is 3 years. It was supposed to be a 2-year program, but life happened. So when I
You had a baby in the middle of it.
Yeah, I was pregnant when I first started, had a baby, and then
Holy shit.
my dad passed
Shout
away.
out International Women's Month. God damn it. Y'all are crazy. You had a baby in grad school.
Yes.
And it only took you the extra time of being pregnant to get out of there. I'll get right back to it.
Yeah, I never took off. I had to just kind of slow things down. I was saying too, it was like November 2017, my dad passed away.
Oh,
so
dealing with tragedy too.
Yeah, so like that was honestly a bigger, like, took a bigger toll on my progress.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
No, seriously, because I literally would not know. I've never lost anybody. No, I've lost, like, let's say my uncle, but we weren't like
tight.
But somebody that you have that type of connection to, or that type of even just relation to, is I'm very what's the word? Somebody help me.
Going, all the words.
Like sympathetic.
Sympathetic.
There you go.
To what you went through.
Wow. And I appreciate that. Yeah, it's even now it's like, it'll be 2 years this November, but like it's definitely an adjustment. Like we had to we kind of had to put a pause on everything, and because like things happen really fast. So like just a little background. Like he basically we found out he was sick in August and he was gone by November.
Damn.
He had stage 4 stomach cancer.
Right.
So it just was like boom, boom, boom. I have I'm with TJ obviously, but I have at this point like a 5-month-old baby, and now my dad's sick. So like I had a baby in April and I lost my dad in November in the same year. So it's like it was a lot. But I'm almost there. May 22nd.
My family is dealing with that. They lost a brother to brain and lung cancer, and like we said, it's rampant. It's wildfire.
It's like
It's wildfire.
fuck cancer for real. Like it's something, and I mean I hate to say that, like it took kind of for it to really like hit me where it hurt like my own personal loss to really come to the understanding that like there's something going on with like the way people are getting cancer at such rapid fire rate, and like. And in our communities and in the country, and it's like, is it what's in the food? Are we being exposed to things? And I mean, I'm not a conspiracy theorist by any stretch, but like, you can't tell me that it was like this 50 years ago, 100 years ago. I mean, cancer's probably always been around, but just the way it's showing up.
Continuously. Boom, boom, boom.
And it's just
boom,
taking
boom.
people out left and right. I mean, like, my dad was like 4 months, like 3.5 months, really.
But you got to watch the white people, man. You gotta watch the white folk. They eating organic. I used to be like, that should cost $2 more for that fruit. I don't give a fuck where it was grown at. I'm getting this one right here, and I'm gonna wash it off like my grandmother used to do it, and I'm good. But shit, they running. They gotta watch these folks because I'm telling you, the Illuminati is real. They know what's going on out here.
Listen, there might be something to
out
it.
there.
They running. I'm running right behind you, motherfuckers. Where you going?
So, oh my God.
I'm sorry. sorry.
No, it's fine. So yeah. Anyway, but saying that all to say, we're gonna jump into some elevated talk. You ready, baby?
Go ahead.
You wanna go first? I'm gonna go first.
Nah, you can lead this. Where we going?
All right. So we always gonna jump on this elevator, and so I'm gonna keep it up. I'm like going up. I've been told I have a nice elevator voice. So as you mentioned it is Women's History Month, and we just celebrated International Women's Day. So I'm saying that's positive because this world would not be what it is if it weren't for women, quite honestly.
Absolutely.
And it probably would be, I'd argue so much to say it'd be a better world if women were in charge more often too. Listen, men have been doing
I'm
it
not
for.
gonna touch that one.
Men have been doing it for millennia, and some things are right and some things are pretty fucked up. So, but anyway, I just want to make sure.
Do you think that's based on gender?
I think that gender plays a role, absolutely.
Because all right.
I don't think so though. I don't think that it's necessarily gender. Just because you're a woman, if it's going to be a white woman who doesn't know the black person's struggle, it's going to be the same.
Well, you talking about intersectionality now. You're talking about like.
Oh, you're using big words.
I'm like, wow.
I'm
big word number one.
It's about and I mean, I'm just scratching the surface. I don't want to, it doesn't have to be a whole thing, but I think that women have been a marginalized group, right? So we've been told that we can't do things, vote, have a say, we weren't considered citizens. And then you start adding black and people who are, LGBTQ and when you start adding all those other ones in there too. But if you want to just look at the top, like men and women, men have been in charge and mostly white men have been in charge of things for decades and centuries or whatever. And some things we've made plenty of progress on, but we've got a lot of things that we still need to fix. And so,
TJ, let me ask you, because when she said women, I was like, So to her saying, pardon me for staring off, my brain does that, right?
It's okay.
It's all good.
I start linking things, especially since I started learning all this stuff on these podcasts. But if I could say, when she said women should be in it, I'm like, she's like, oh, they would be better. I'm like, men deal with shit logically. We're very aggressive. We're very this way, right? Wait, Danny.
I'm listening.
But if we can say that it affects us that way to move that way, having a woman in office would be different. They look at things differently. They empathize differently. They move completely differently. Like if 100%. You look at the way a man would run his house normally, right? Generally, the way a man would run his house, cleaning and cooking or whatever, kids be eating Kraft macaroni and cheese and macaroni and McDonald's way more often than not. Whereas with a woman, the food is made fucking breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They know how to do it. They going to work. The shit is clean. The way it's cleaned is different than if it was a man. So you would think about it, if that the way they run that house, then the way they would run the country would be different too.
But I also think it depends on which woman it is.
Of course.
So that's my thing. I mean, I would love to see women get a fair opportunity, but I also want to see the right woman get an opportunity.
But the same thing about getting the right man.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
I agree. I think that, but all I'll say is this: is that let's, continue to work towards giving more women those opportunities to even have the chance to give them the chance to fuck up. At least put them in the position.
I'm with you.
To try, so that way they can show and prove if they're capable. But like
what's
you say, like
in Congress, AOC.
Yes.
I think she's fire.
I do too. She speaks to the millennials. I think that's why.
But she's a woman doing it, and the other woman who,
Ilhan.
Yeah,
the one she's in.
I'm scared of y'all though.
Why?
Because you know what it is.
What, women?
Yeah, I'm scared of women.
Why?
Because in women empowerment, there are those who strictly empower women and who just speak on the facts, and then there are the others that step all over the men at the same time.
Yeah, you don't have to. So
it's like.
Yeah.
If y'all do get empowered, I'm scared of what will happen to us. Like it's a very
somebody
notion,
we're gonna exact our revenge on all of the foul shit y'all done to us over the years. Nah, I think
I don't want to pay for everybody's mistakes.
Yeah, but you know what though, I don't blame you for saying that, but I think too it's about finding the right person, right people, right women to be in those positions, because if you don't want somebody who's going to take their revenge out for being scorned or whatever else, like some people would think that a woman would do, but men do it too sometimes, because you got those men in power who never could get a date, and then they come around and they start to flex or however they want to demonstrate their power, their manliness, now that they're in a position of power. And it is, of course, it's all about making sure that it's the right people at the end of the day. But all I'm saying is, it's Women's History Month.
You got it. Celebrate
a woman in your life. Look up, find interesting information about women.
I got a daughter, so
you absolutely do. So that's.
I respect women a lot more.
Ever since.
Not saying that I didn't respect women, but
this is getting bad.
No,
Nah, he was always respectful. I wouldn't have married him otherwise.
I was always super respectful, but it's different when you have to raise a daughter. Like I have to make sure she's a good person overall as a man. Like her mother's going to teach her how to be a woman, but I have to give her that. I have to give her a perspective of how men are going to treat her and how she should be treated by men, but also, making sure that I'm not doing things that may have been sexist or whatever, because
the presence of a man in the house is something that changes everything, especially for our generation and the generation that's previous to us, because we didn't have men. We see how the entire thing has changed, and it's mostly in inner city communities. Like men didn't leave white America, right? So their families are still thriving. Their families are still doing legendary, legacies. They still have that. Where it's George Bush 1, 2, senior, junior. You know what I mean? We don't have that, and it shows in the way our men respect women and the way our women are lacking in knowing how to love, and even men not knowing how to love women. It's it's really affected us a lot not having that man in the house.
See, I was lucky to have that man in the house. Like my father,
you're married and a loving husband.
Yeah.
Shout out to your father.
Yeah, shout out to Ice, man.
Yeah. But
shit ain't there.
So, babe, are we continuing to go up, or are we going down? Where we going?
We can stay up.
All right, continue. Next floor.
As she said, it's March. It's a great month.
Oh yes.
It's our wedding anniversary.
Yes, it was.
Congratulations.
Thank you. 6 years.
In the game.
6 years.
And
then, my birthday. So.
Yes, March is a busy month for me. March can be an expensive month at times.
Listen, March 20th.
Yes, my Pisces.
Yeah, exactly. The greatest
sign.
sign.
Shout out to Pisces.
Yeah.
Shout out to Pisces.
Happy belated birthday.
Oh, you're a Pisces too. Oh, boy. I see where this episode is going.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, listen.
Shout out to my soundboard. I'm in love with it. I'm sorry.
Listen, we Pisces are fire. Straight to the point. Sometimes it can be a little emotional, but listen.
A touch emotional.
I mean, listen, that's life.
Well, Pisces, I think we get a bad rap with emotion. So I had my signs read by Lauren. I can't remember what the hell her ad name is, but she was on my show about a year ago, and she told me Pisces are at the end of the spectrum, right? Of the zodiac spectrum. We feel everything every other sign feels. That's why our empathy is that way. That's why we're so creative. We're literally living through all the shit that y'all are feeling. We're living through all of it. Where it all trickles down through Pisces, right? Before it circles around and goes back to top. So the fact that we're so emotional, it's like it's not our fault. It's
Listen,
not our fault.
it's not your fault. You are preaching
And
to
we
the choir.
use it for good too.
You're preaching to the choir. I mean, I'm a Cancer, so I'm always.
Oh, you feel it.
I'm sensitive about my shit all the time.
Shout out to Cancer.
Yes. So, but and like what I say with TJ and I is like, you know, with the zodiac thing is like we're both water signs, right? So
That gotta be rough.
when we're in sync, we flowing, we good. But what happens when waves coming this way and waves coming this way? You get yourself a tsunami, a typhoon, whatever you want to call it. Like that's.
Especially dealing with you.
God damn.
Oh, me?
Yeah, it's a tsunami.
Oh, first of all, okay. We digress. We'll put a pin in that.
I mean, yeah, we're staying up. You know, like I said, man, March is a great month.
It is a great month.
And, you know, I just can't wait to finish celebrating and everything else. So
Yes.
I'm going to stay up with that.
All right. How about you, sir? You got anything that you want to?
Where am I today?
Yes.
Where am I today? Because I fluctuate. Being a Pisces, I definitely am.
Oh, y'all definitely
up,
do.
Down, side to side. Depends on where the moon is in the sky.
Exactly.
Where my tide is.
It's y'all are ready to have a parade one second, and it's the end of the world the next. Oh my gosh.
I'm going up.
Yeah.
And the
All right.
reason I'm going up is because I just love what life is doing. Right? You never really know. A year, 2 years ago, a year ago, I was struggling with my own show. Didn't really know what I was going to do. I was very sad that my co-host had left and the way that she left. And she just abruptly wasn't there. And it made me look crazy to me. To other people, it's like, no, do it. We love you. But to me, I'm like, oh, I was struggling. I'm like, and she's like, though, I don't want you to be a part of my brand. Don't take it the wrong way. You have a brand. That's what she would say. She was like, I want you to build your shit. I believe in you. And I'm like, but you leaving me and I'm scared. What am I gonna do? And she's like, trust me, you got this. Like, I listen to the show. I want to hear you. Like, you got this. And so perspective wise, I was very sad and nervous. And, you know, I was used to holding on. And over the course of the last year, I've been fighting and struggling and building. I guess I was squatting. I was building my legs. I was strengthening my
Leg
core.
day every day.
You know what I'm saying? And she's been right there too, but as a friend instead of, and, you know, as a mentor too, but it's like first person clapping. Like, see, I told you could do it. And I'm like, but it's still not going good enough. And she's like, yo, you're doing great. A year later, I've watched my life change so much. And it perspective based, like, you just really never know what tomorrow holds. Don't be scared to fight. Don't be scared of the struggle, because you actually are getting stronger. The struggle makes you stronger. And like I said all the time, pain creates character. So just going up and just appreciating what life has done for me and keeping an open mind as to what it could be tomorrow. That's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm just very happy. Shit, even to be on this show and what I did yesterday. I don't want to. Do I? Do that?
Yeah, say whatever.
Last year I got cursed out by Mandy.
You did.
We know.
Bad. Y'all reacted to that too. I can't remember. Y'all said something. I can't remember.
Y'all
said something.
we talked about it, like it was a rough patch there.
It's a rough
Like
patch.
yeah. But that's the thing. Like, you know, you're not. That's the best thing about growth and progress. It's like you're not where you were a year ago now, and y'all are in such a better place. And so
Yeah, she called me to host the show.
Yeah.
I hosted Horrible Decisions yesterday. By the way, I did a really great job. I think I did a great job. And she hit me like, yo, they loved you. They loved you. I'm like,
That's dope.
That's crazy. But just to think, like last year, we would curse each other out on the internet. And
Exactly.
She's calling me this year to host. So, you know, shout out to my year.
Yes, shout out to you. That's everybody. You know, I like that. I like the I've seen this a couple times, like floating around the internet. It's like sometimes, you know, that last 4 years, 5 years, whatever, are building up for this one like really transformative year. And I think that that's what, like, it sounds sometimes like what you're having. Like, you've had these obstacles that you've had to overcome in order to kind of get to this year where now things are starting to click and they're starting to come
Everything's
together.
falling into place.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that all of those things were building me up to be able to deal with this or to be able to move forward or be able to even tell other people. I'm on a panel next week and I'm like the lifestyle segment where I'm positive affirmation. Like, me? Positive? What the fuck do people be listening to? Me? But then I realized that I do have a struggle. What is it called? I have what I've gone through, people can relate to.
A testimony.
People can relate to that, and they're like, "Yo, I'm going through shit. I'm the one who's viewed that way. I'm coming over that mountain. I'm coming over the hump." And so Tahoe, I can relate to. Oops.
No, you're fine.
You good?
It's all good.
Nah.
Yeah, but so they can relate to me through the realness or whatever. That's what they call it, realness.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I mean, I think living in your truth is important.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think a lot of times we don't realize that people are watching us or seeing stuff, and they take stuff from that. You know,
Right.
we're just living our lives, and it may be our highs or our lows, but it may be someone who's looking and they like, yo, I remember last year you weren't doing this, and now I see you doing this. That was inspiring.
Yeah.
Or I seen you on this place, or I heard you do this, and it, you know what I mean. So I think it's dope.
Yeah,
Growth
man.
is always important.
And the people that can latch on and watch you through that, like, first of all, I just shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to the people that stuck around. Shout out to the people that love me at my lows and appreciate me at my highs. You know what I mean? So it's just going up. But yeah, so that's where I'm at.
Good. Well, I'm glad we're gonna keep it positive. We're gonna stay on that wave. But with that being said, though, now we're gonna just real quick slide into this relationship tip of the week.
Oh, go ahead.
Tahoe, you can let us know who has the better one. I mean, it's typically gonna be me, but it's
It is Women's Month, so
you know.
she might order.
So because TJ likes.
You know what? I will concede because it's Women's Month. You got it.
Oh, okay.
You get the extra point
normally
just
you like to
because.
cheat in this segment.
How do I cheat?
Because you cheat because you ask. If I say the tip is inspired by you.
Oh, I mean, if
But-
you say if it is inspired by me,
But
I got to get that extra point.
I mean, but like.
but you know what?
You were my only reference material.
That's cool, but it's like a charity basketball game. That's
Are you
what's
calling me
going
a
on.
charity case?
No, I'm not saying a charity case. I'm just saying like the charity basketball game. Like we're playing,
But we're not really.
but
playing.
we're not really playing. So
All right. Well,
I'm sparring with you here, but you can have it. Go ahead,
anyway.
do it for the kids.
Yeah. Let's go.
Shut
Let's see what you
up.
got. Let's
So-
see what you got.
My relationship tip for this week is simple but meaningful. Get to know your partner whenever you're in a relationship. It's important, I think, especially if you think it's going somewhere. Let me say that. Get to know your partner's like parents or family, whoever that means the most to them in their life.
Well, that's definitely inspired by me.
Well, listen, I'm well loved in your
Yeah,
family,
but what did I tell you?
that's not where I got this from. But okay, But
Okay.
yeah, no, but when we a million years ago, so if you didn't already know, me and TJ been together since we were in high school. So like we've been married 6 years, but like this year will be 15 years of us
Nice.
going
Nice.
together.
Shout
Yeah.
out to 15 years.
I know,
Shout
right?
out to 15. Especially an anniversary. We gotta give that mad clap for it. Mad
Thank you. So, all the way back then in 2004, TJ was like, listen, you're going to meet my family, my mom, my parents, my aunts. He was like, if they don't like you, like, that's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, but what if I didn't do anything wrong? Like, what if it's just, he was like, nah. He was like, if they don't like you, it's just not, it's not going to happen. It's not really going to go anywhere. So I guess they like me. But that's not, and that's, I mean, that's,
I feel like it's inspired. But go ahead.
but the reason why I said that though is like, it's important in a relationship to make sure that you at least make the attempt to get to know your partner's parents, aunts, uncle, grandmother, whoever it is that means the world to them in their family. Because if you are trying to, go the long, make it the long run or whatever, go the long way, however you say it, it shows that effort, right? Because, and I think it tells you a lot about a person if you understand where they came from or what their upbringing is. And so it's twofold. You'll get the opportunity to understand why this person is the way that they are the way that they are, excuse me. And also it's showing like I'm taking the time to get to know the people that matter to you. Like you matter to me, but you matter to me so much that I'm going to also get to know the people that matter to you, that I have no initial investment in at this point. And so I feel like that's a good tip, especially if you are trying to get more serious with a person, because it wasn't our story because, having difficulties with like parents and stuff like that and families, but I've had so many friends who are like, I like this person, but their mom or their sister or their brother or whoever, and it's like it becomes a roadblock into the relationship. Like how many times there's a show coming out like in a week or two, and it's called like Family or Fiance or something, where the person's like engaged to somebody but the family hates them, and the person has to like choose.
That's pretty normal.
Yeah, but and it's
yeah, I mean,
and I mean, and if anything, you can find out that it's not going to work because, and you can cut your losses at the same time.
People don't necessarily listen to their family. Like
They
nobody.
don't.
it depends though.
It depends.
Like I was definitely like my family didn't like Dani. She probably wouldn't have stayed around. But that's also because I had an older brother. I have an older brother, and my ex sister-in-law, right? That's what she'd be called.
Damn.
They didn't really get along with my family, so I kind of got to see that side. So I just didn't want that, like, you know, like Dani was super dope
But if
to
you're
me.
rocking, if y'all are rocking, and then for whatever reason, the family, for whatever reason, have they things.
But you also got to think about the age. I met Dani when I was 15. So my 15-year-old mind is different than my 30-year-old mind. If I was 30 and I may be like, all right, well, if they don't rock. But then again, because of who I am, I wouldn't. Like, family is like key to me. Like,
So you would have dumped your girl over your family.
if my family really didn't like her,
How does that conversation go? Like, say right now you go into Dani, she's waiting for you to come over. How do you tell her? Just tell her right now. I want to hear this conversation.
how do I tell
Yeah,
Dani?
that you're not messing with no more because your mom doesn't like her. I want to hear it.
I don't know how I would do that. Listen,
Dani,
You ghost
are
me?
you willing to role play this?
I would.
Yeah, I am.
We're gonna role play this.
I was in drama club in 10th
scenario.
grade. I'm ready.
Let's go. Let me hear it. And
Action.
scene, go. Action.
Listen, this ain't gonna work.
Why?
My family don't like you.
But you like me.
I do, but I like my family more.
Wow.
Yeah,
Fuck
this
you
is-
then. Nah.
I'm straight to the point with it.
Bitch ass nigga. Nah, just
I think just for me, like, I grew up like family was just everything. And
it's a very tight family.
And my family, if they don't like you, it's not because they just don't like you. Like, there's typically a reason. Like, they're like one of the most open-minded families that I know. Like,
Yeah.
me and Dani could be arguing, and my father is taking her side.
Because I'm right.
It's not because you're right.
Right.
They just like you.
No, because I be right, and they know their son.
Nah.
But so let's put an asterisk next to this tip.
All right.
Get to know your partner's family because they, because of you showing the investment, but also in a situation where like if you feel like your family's picking, and your significant other aren't vibing, you know the people that are in your family. You can't pick your family, so like if they are just being petty, right? Or if it's something that's not that serious that you're like, you don't like her because she's different because of something that you don't want to see me with, not because there's anything actually wrong with her or him. Versus
that's a little bit different,
versus
though.
there's something like there's a major like character flaw in this person that I'm seeing. I don't want to see you go down that path. So it's also like knowing your audience. I think that part.
I think
too.
that's perfect advice. That's
Thank
that's
you.
a perfect way to look at it.
Thank
Because
you.
your family could have their own issues.
Yeah.
With you, or the way you've dated, or with your history. It
Mm-hmm.
can't have nothing to do with this person. They could be hating on her because where you are in life right now.
You right.
He's not ready for that. She looks like she's this and that, and we know how he is. And next thing you know, they're saying that they don't like it, but they have their own history and reason why. So whatever. I mean, I agree with your perspective 100,000%.
I appreciate that.
Oh, that's.
Sorry,
I got a major cosign right
I
there.
know that's crazy to me.
That's,
So you just gonna forfeit,
No, I'm not gonna forfeit. Never
Okay.
gonna forfeit.
even though it's a charity game?
Yeah, exactly. So I already gave you the 20 points. You good?
Goodbye. Continue.
My tip is based off of our anniversary. So with Dani being a teacher, we don't typically celebrate our anniversary on our anniversary because we can't go away anywhere. She got to teach. But I had people ask us what are we doing and trying to tell us like we should do something more. And my advice is it's okay not to listen to other people. Like, you should not always listen to other people or feel like you got to compete or do things because other people are saying like, well, it's your anniversary. Y'all should be going out to dinner. Y'all should be doing something like, you know what I mean? Because if you start listening to people, it can affect your relationship. You know, you may listen to somebody and be like, why aren't we going away? Or why aren't you making the time? Or whatever. And, you know what I mean? It can mess up what you already have going. So I think in relationships and friendships or whatever, sometimes you gotta not listen to the other people. You gotta tune other people out. I mean, anyone can have their opinion, but don't let that opinion screw your mind.
And that's like with Valentine's, like the whole Valentine's Day thing. Like
It's just another day.
you could be in such love, and all of the pressure from everybody else gets in. It's
just
like,
another day.
yo, don't do that to each other.
Yeah.
Don't do that to each other. Love how you love. Don't pay no attention. I agree that 100,000% again. You guys are tied, but she has a 20 plus. So
Yeah, exactly.
So I win.
Yeah. Charity.
Good.
Can I have one?
Yes, please.
Okay. 2-part thing. What is this called again?
This is the relationship tip.
2-part relationship tip. All right. I think at the basis of my relationship tip, and I'm single, but I do have a relationship. And it's with like my baby mamas, with my daughters, with my mom, whatever. But I'm on a plane coming from somewhere, and there's this old couple sitting next to me. And I noticed how much they were concerned about the other person in the little things. It was like he would shift her head when she was sleeping. He would like adjust himself so that she wouldn't move over. With the people came to give the food, she knew what he wanted. He was away, so she like set up his plate and everything the way she knows that he likes to eat it. And it was like they were such in rhythm and understanding each other. It wasn't just like I said, they were older, so who knows how long that they were together. It wasn't one-sided, not from my point of view. Maybe from there, maybe one person doesn't, but from my point of view, they were really in tune with paying attention to the other person's needs. And so I was thinking about this last night. It's probably gonna be in one of my next videos. In a relationship, in any relationship, if you can find somebody who will care for you the same way you care for them, who will pay attention to your shit the same way, for instance, last night, my baby mother, I can't stand her sometimes. But I have to be like, so yesterday, Friday, I got the call to do horrible decisions. I'm supposed to pick up my sons. I called my baby mother, listen, I got this opportunity, and she's like, great, go do it. I got them till later. I do the show. After the show, Joe Budden, Sin, Rory come over to me. They're giving me pounds. Maul comes over, gives me a pound. They leave. The ladies are like, yo, we're all going to the bar with Joe and them. We're going to go hang out. Come on, let's go. I done told this girl I'm coming to get the kids. I FaceTime her like, so, hey, how are you guys doing? And she's like, yeah, we're great. We don't wait for you. And I said, all right, so I was kind of thinking if I could go over here. She's like, what? I have something to do. And I'm like, okay. I ain't gonna go. And I had an attitude about it for a minute. But then I had to realize she already covered me. She already, like, I'm being selfish. I'm thinking about my own self. You need to accept that she did that and do the same for her.
Yeah.
Do the same for her. Like, it's very important for us as in couples and relationships to always think about the other person almost first. Because that's relation. You are part of them. It's not about you. Once it's about you, you're out the relationship. Once you single yourself out, you're single, basically, quote unquote. You single yourself. What about me? It's us.
Yeah.
It's always us.
That's good. That's really good. That's very powerful because it happens all the time. I know.
So Tahoe on your team, so that now you have 40 points?
Sure, why not?
All right, cool.
It's a handicap. It was a handicap match. It was 2 against 1. Okay. So I agree with that 1,000,000%.
That definitely makes sense. It definitely makes sense as far as thinking about the other person.
Yeah.
When Dani's doing her stuff, there's been times I'm like, all right, let me take Tatum out of the house, like so Dani can just do whatever. Or she takes a day for herself. I got Tatum. Go ahead. Like I see how much she works.
Right.
And just having that perspective is a great perspective. I don't think everyone thinks about their partner all the time. Right. Sometimes a lot of times they think about me, and you're right. That makes you single.
Yeah, man, you singling yourself out.
Yeah, and it's hard. And like I've at this like window of time that we've been in with like we've having so much stuff going on. it's been difficult, and sometimes I feel like I've been the one who's been like he's been having to think more about me than I've had like the bandwidth to think about him, because I've got so much on my plate. And so like, but I try to still be mindful when those times do come up, because like, you know, and I mean, and then again, it's nothing crazy, nothing simple, but like Saturday night we sitting in the house, us and the baby, and he like his best friends hit him up and they were like, oh, we trying to go. What we was in Delaware, right? So one of his boys lives in Delaware, so he's like, we gonna go see H. I was like, all right, go, bye. I got Tatum, like, have fun. And then he, you know, and because it was a Saturday night, so I had some flexibility. I don't have to be doing work right this second. So by all means, like, you're not gonna get any static out of me when you help me all these other times, or you know, and sometimes because I need to do work, and sometimes I need a fucking nap. Like, I just need some sleep. Like, I just need some sleep. I'm always tired. So I think that's a very, very valid point. Like, you do need to think about the other person, and thinking about the other person looks different all the time. It could be keeping the kids for a little bit longer. It could be picking up lunch on the way home, or dinner on the way home, so that way you don't got to cook. It's whatever it is, because in a relationship, you want to try to make the other person's life a little easier sometimes, like, because we out here fighting the world every day. Every day we set foot outside of our home. So like, home should be your safety, your peace. And so if it can be, and you can contribute to that person's peace, then do it, you know? Because ultimately, if he's at peace or if I'm at peace, then we're in a good space. So now we're good with each other. And that's what makes things even better. Exactly. Doesn't always work like that. It has its ups and downs, but in the best case scenario, that's what we're doing.
Exactly.
This was a really great relationship segment. Good job, guys.
Wait, we clapped him.
Yay!
Good job, guys.
Good job, guys.
Clapped him.
You know, you can tell I teach middle school, but so I don't give them all that. But you can tell I'm a teacher. I'm all about positive reinforcement. But with that being said, we're going to
my word.
Oh, real quick, yeah. TJ's got his word of the week. What's our SAT word, baby?
It's antediluvian.
Oh.
Ooh, yeah, exactly.
Okay, enlighten us.
Antediluvian.
Ridiculously old-fashioned.
Let me see.
That's a nice. That's a good word.
Antediluvian. Right, okay. Okay, ridiculous.
It's a very unnecessarily long word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, Danny's vocab be so crazy. So I'm like, I just gotta.
Women are much smarter, breed. Like
they are. I'm not taking that, but Danny's a different breed. Danny's in a different world. She knows mad random facts and just words that you be like, wait.
Yeah. I mean, I guess like he was like when you were over, we were getting ready, and this so as we were recording in the background, this movie The Mummy is playing, the new one with Tom Cruise, which I'm not a fan of, but it said something about being Mesopotamia, so you were like, is that a real place? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, the Fertile Crescent. I was like, it's between the Tigris and Euphrates.
What the fuck?
To the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. I'm like, I did a project on it in 6th grade. And I was like, and then I had to teach it again. I was like, I had to teach it again when I taught social studies. And I'm like, yeah, you don't know about that? And he was like, no. And I'm like,
who knows about that?
Me.
But knowledge is power.
No, definitely. Listen. That's one of the reasons why I had to marry her. I'm like, she's one of the smartest people I know.
Yes,
100%.
Knowledge is fucking
100%.
power.
Jeopardy, trivia, anything. I'm going with Danny.
Yeah.
I'm betting it all.
Oh yeah. Do you ever play like Trivial Pursuit or trivia games? Anything?
I've just played Game of Thrones Jeopardy. Have you ever played?
So I have not watched Game of Thrones. I know we're one of those people.
I need a womp. I need a.
But I've been in school. I haven't been able to keep up with a lot of things. But don't do that, please. However, if I did watch it, I promise we're gonna watch it. But I'll tell you this:
I hear that it's amazing.
Yeah, and it's about to be the last one.
I hear like the first 4 to 5 episodes is long and drawn out.
No.
No? Okay.
They are all building. You have to be willing. It's like when you're reading a book. If you read a book, the first chapter, 2 chapters, they're giving you shit. Look at the Bible. It's like it's Abraham, the son of this, and then that nigga. That's like 4 pages of son of this, uncle of this, gen of this. It's like, yo.
They laying the plot points out. They setting it up. So
we have Bang Bang come out first.
Yeah, you gotta capture his attention.
Yeah, Cole's Went to Ever, first page.
Shoot him up.
Nah, it wasn't shoot 'em up, but
Oh.
it got your attention. But I'm gonna check it out.
Y'all
We're
are
gonna
tripping.
watch
Y'all
it.
are people who don't. Do y'all have Androids?
No.
Don't do that.
I feel like people who don't watch Game of Thrones like have Androids.
No, this is solely, and like Game of Thrones is definitely my speed because I love like science fiction, fantasy, like that's my bag. So this is more of just like not having the time, but I am committed to like watching
This summer.
It's been 8 years.
But it's just
It never
it never really like
piqued my interest.
was on my radar.
But everybody
And
at
then
work talks about it. And
my sister watched it like in one summer, like all of them. And
I'm a
it's
hood nigga talking
I
about
know.
dragons and swords. Like you got to think about how far this shit reaches.
Yeah.
But it's all about it's the from what I gather, even though it's like all this fantasy and stuff, but it's about people making power plays and being cutthroat and about like families doing family wrong. So it's the same core drama that like people can identify with
In almost any story.
in almost any story. Yeah, like so I would make this point. If I did watch Game of Thrones, you would want me on your team for Jeopardy because I would remember everything.
Yeah.
So
So this
lost.
summer
this summer
we'll
a
watch
pact.
it. Exactly.
we'll report back to you
May 23rd, you graduate.
May
right?
22nd.
May 22nd.
So May 23rd, we're gonna start watching.
Yeah, that's all. And you're going to be done for
Yeah.
like 2 months. You're not going to want to move away from your screen. for,
Yeah,
like, 2
and then
months.
at that point, because like the new season starts like next month, right?
April.
Yeah,
April.
April
Yeah.
14th.
So,
It's only like 8 episodes.
but they're like
right?
2
Or
hours
6, I
long,
believe.
right?
Yeah, it's like mini movies is what I heard.
Yeah. I'm going to do a podcast about it today, so I'm excited.
Yo,
I'm gonna have to like pack it all away, and then I'm just gonna like just go into Game of Thrones overload. Like I'm gonna just submerge myself into the culture, and then come back out, as a Targaryen or King of the North or somebody.
Well, at least she knows. At least she knows some
See,
of the characters.
I'm with the cultural references. Like, put it like this: I've never seen one episode of Game of Thrones, but in because of the culture, I could tell you that what's her name, Daenerys with the white hair. I read somewhere that in her tribe or whatever they call it, the more battles you win or successes you have or victories you have, the more braids she puts in her hair. So if you look at her from the first season where her hair is kind of like out or just has like just a little tie back, to more recent seasons, she's got mad braids in her hair because for every braid it's like showing like how much she's grown in rank or like how she's
looks like
been
you
a
just told him
victory.
something.
That is. Are you serious?
That's what I read. Yeah, that's what I heard.
And that's a fact because I might bring that up on the show.
Like look
later.
it up. I'm pretty positive that, and like if you like think about it, if you picture her in your mind over the season, does she think about her hair? Does she have more braids?
Oh, she's definitely gotten a lot more complex in her look.
Like-
So yeah, I
So I read somewhere that like in their society, like every victory or success, whatever it is, they add more braids. So that's why like her hair is like tied up in more braids as the seasons
that's why
progress.
she's gonna die.
I heard everybody you like dies. I heard Cersei is a straight cold bitch.
Cersei is incredible, but she needs to die as well.
Yeah, I remember.
Unfortunately, I don't like to say all this stuff during Women's Month, but all the women need to die.
No,
Arya.
Arya's people want Arya or
No, Sansa. They want
Sansa.
Sansa to die.
They want. I heard Arya is the truth. Like
Arya's the truth, but she's gonna
Jon
die.
Snow still has made it. I remember everybody cried with Hodor. That was
Hold the
Red Wedding. I know the references. I just haven't seen everything.
All right, so to anybody that's listening to this show that has not watched Game of Thrones, you have to understand how in tune she is, and she's never seen an episode.
I've never seen an episode.
She's that in tune when she's like, yo, you are something else.
Told you.
So imagine if I did watch it.
Wow.
So-
This is crazy.
You want me on your team? Trivia.
Definitely, absolutely.
All right. So let's actually ask some questions.
Yeah, we can get into it.
We can get a formal
We can
introduction
formally
because this has been a
introduce
great
him.
conversation so
Oh
far.
shit, we haven't. They don't
I haven't even interviewed. We haven't even interviewed yet. You are our guest. We were just chopping it up. So you hear the voice. You know it. It's like I said in the beginning. This is somebody we've absolutely admired in the podcast game for quite some time, and we're so grateful to have him in front of us now. And we have in front of us Tahoe from the So Shameless podcast.
Yeah. What's
Host
up?
of Horrible Decisions Live show now. You add that to the
That's right.
resume.
Yeah,
Contributed to Game of Thrones podcast in the
That's right.
future.
That's
So
right.
like, you
Shout
know.
out to
Made it
Bros.
on the Shade Room.
Oh,
Rihanna
yes,
follows
yes, yes.
me. Yup.
Yes, so
I'm
you-
doing things.
Yes, you are.
Rihanna.
Yes.
But she's gonna unfollow. I've always said to myself, if she unfollows, you just gotta expect it, so
Yeah.
that when it happens, it doesn't
I don't
bother
think
you.
she'll unfollow you.
I seen her unfollow somebody else. One day, so she has 67 million people follow Rihanna. That's crazy. She follows 1,350 people, including me, 1,350. One day I go to her profile, I see 1,349. I'm like, oh.
It's you. It's me.
I'm like, she'll follow me. It wasn't what she thought. You know what I mean? And I go look, and I'm like, oh God, I'm still
You're
there.
like, you still? I made the cut.
I'm still here.
You know what? You can say, like, you can take a screenshot. Be like, I'll always have the memory. You take a screenshot of her following you. Oh, because I would. That's the first thing I would have done. I'd be like, bitch. Like that would have been my first text message to somebody when somebody famous would follow me. But
I'm just like, all of these things that are happening, they're coming to me for just who I am. I didn't apply for her follow.
Nope.
I didn't apply for a lot of these things that are happening. So I'm very gracious, man. And I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they were like, Pisces, man, you guys are egotistical. And I said, huh?
No,
Pisces? I said, that's that dude you was there. Yeah. His moon must have been in Virgo or some shit.
Mercury was in retrograde.
But that ain't me at all. Nah, I'm very humble. I think I'm appreciative of everything that's happening.
I would say that, yeah.
Sounds like a Pisces.
That TJ is very appreciative. Y'all, that is a very accurate trait of Pisces, man. Y'all are sickening in plenty of other ways, but egotistical isn't probably one I would go with. Yeah. But yeah. So thank you for being on the show. Like,
I'm very happy to be here.
Shout soundboard.
Shout out to the Lovers Quarrel show.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys have definitely been part of the brand for a long time. So that's why I knew. I met you guys last year
at the live show.
The live show.
That was the first 2 years ago. It was 2017.
Yeah, that was the first.
That was the first live show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. And at the
2017. Mm-hmm. Fuck my life.
Yeah. That was like.
That was before.
That was and that's what like
everything.
Yeah, I was.
That was before the pregnancy.
No. That was we had Tatum. We had, but she was only. Right. That was like I was like, but I like we went to the live show and we met you like the next day. We like went up to the hospital to see my dad, and then like went back to Maryland, and then like Tatum was like 6-7 months old at that point. Right. So now that was a while ago, but we that's we first were formally introduced and everything like that. So and we've been watching and rocking and supporting ever since.
I appreciate y'all and everybody else that's been here. I just appreciate y'all even coming. Like I stood y'all up last night. I didn't know.
It's okay. It's okay.
And so we had to reroute the episode. I'm like, I'm not standing y'all up. Y'all got to come to my house. We're gonna do it at the crib, right?
Well, we appreciate
that because
we've had some people who just stood us
ghosted.
Up and that was it.
Yeah. Like no apologies, no nothing. Just. Like
I was not gonna do that. No, because I'm literally at my baby mother's house picking up the kids last night, and I would have stood y'all up for Joe Budden and them anyway. So it was gonna happen one way or the other. I'm at, and I see the DM, and I'm like, oh my God, they're at the studio. And I tell her, and she's like, she's like, just telling me you're with your kids. And I'm like, you don't understand that they don't even live here. Mm-hmm. You don't do that to people. Like, you just don't do that to people. And that's one thing about me. People don't realize I really love being a good person. You know what I mean? Like,
I feel you.
I love being a good person.
Yeah,
and with my history of being a whatever type of, whatever, say in the streets or whatever, it just feels so good being a dope person to people. Like, it really does. And I wish that we had more of that in society. People actually...
Just be nice.
Not being piece of shit all the time.
It takes nothing to be good to people.
It takes nothing to say hi to people. It takes nothing to have a conversation. It takes nothing to post somebody's post. Yeah. Like, it takes nothing just to be a good person. Yeah. It takes more energy to be a negative person than it does just to be like we're all people at the end of the day, no matter what our status is. It takes nothing to be nice.
I'm driving and like a dude like cuts me off. He's like, you can't make this merge. And I'm just like, that was a lot of energy. That was a lot of energy that you put into it just so that I couldn't get around you so I could go make this right here. All right, go ahead, bro. It's not that serious. I hope that made your day. It's like we live in this nasty, negative fucking place. Yeah. And it's unnecessary, man. You think about Republicans, Democrats, Trump, Obama. It's just all of this fucking aggression towards each other rather than trying to understand what we
or just trying to work
with
each other. Yeah,
I don't understand it. So that's why with you guys, I would have never.
We truly appreciate it because like TJ was saying, like that hasn't always been our experience. Honestly, it's probably you're the first person who, if we've had, and not to say we've had it happen often, but in the few times that we've had it, where like it was like misconnections or somebody didn't make it, didn't come, but like somebody that like actively sought out to like make it right.
Yeah.
Like you are the first.
I appreciate that, and
so-
that's always going to be me.
Yeah.
In my kids, my relationships, whatever. Like I just really believe in being a good person. Now there are going to be times when you don't get along.
100%.
There's going to be times when it just don't work out. Like me and my daughter, I love my daughter, and I'll be like, I'm not talking to you. I don't care. It is what it is. I'm not talking to you.
Sometimes that's how it be, especially when it's your own, it's your kid. Sometimes it's the you in them too that's like you struggle with, because you're like,
I hate the me and her. Yo, Cuddy said that to me yesterday. I think it was yesterday. She's like, she's your child. Son of a bitch, why? Why?
Even Tatum's not even 2. She'll be 2 next month, and like sometimes I feel like she looks like me, she acts like him, and so when she does certain things, I'm like, that's your daughter. Like, that's why. Like, she's doing it because I'm like, you are like that. And he was like, TJ's like, oh my God, like I can't. I'm like, that's because she's acting like you.
I mean, I gotta accept it.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It is, but it'll come, we'll all gonna have those moments where like I see, maybe with her, like she'll be, I don't know, some negative trait that I have, because I have plenty, and I'm
I think
like,
it'll
damn.
hit home when she do the eyes.
Oh, when she doesn't answer you?
No, like when my face, like when I'm angry.
Oh yeah. So yeah, when she's pissed, she screws her face up just the way TJ does when he's pissed. And I'm like, that face right there, 15 years of that face I've been dealing with. I'm like, now you can see it on somebody else, and I'm trying to tell you about it. But anyway.
That's actually beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It's a nice thing. It's like
Cycle of life.
Yeah. That's what, and it's the biology behind it, because it's like you want to protect the things, because you feel like, that's me.
Yeah.
That's me. Like I want to love and nurture and protect, because you are an extension of me. And like what, kids are, your walking heartbeats, like walking, talking heartbeats outside of your body. Like I totally agree with that. And we're going to ask you some questions about being a dad anyway, because, relationships and parenthood, that's what we do here.
All right. Let's get it.
So,
Let's get it.
but, although we were already warmed up, but I have a little icebreaker for you. It's a thought-provoking one, I hope. So, if you could only ask a person 2 questions to know everything that you needed to know about them, what would those 2 questions be? So.
Oh, Jesus. I
know it's still in the morning. I realize.
Jesus. Everything that I wanted. If 2 questions that would help me decide.
Everything needed to know about a person. What would you ask that person?
What do you? I want to say, what do you love most?
That's a good one.
And then probably directly after that, what do you hate most? People put so. If you say family, if you say things, if you say Chanel, if you say Game of Thrones, I'm learning, right? I'm able to learn a lot about that. I mean, I'm pretty sure those are the worst answers I could have given to that question. That's something that I would really have to think about. I want to let me try to reroute that question. Let me see. Something that I could ask you. So if I'm dating you, I'm looking at you, and I want to learn everything I can right now.
2 questions.
When's the last time you had an STD? No,
that's important.
No, honestly, I don't know. Can y'all give me some good y'all ask people these questions?
So
before?
actually, I got this. I kind of stole this question. We were judges of a pageant like a week or 2 ago.
Yeah.
And the young lady who got the pageant, who got the question, her response was, the first question was, she asked them about their family life, like their upbringing, because she's like, you could tell a lot about a person by how they were raised.
That's a good.
She won the pageant.
Answer.
That's that. Yeah. And
well, to be honest, it sounds good, but shit. The first child, the older child, lives a huge difference between the younger child.
True.
And the middle child.
True.
They are completely different. The youngest child would be the most irresponsible motherfucker in the world. Be the baby. What? Oh,
I'm the baby.
We're both the babies, but we have our older siblings are like significantly older than us, like 7 years from him and 10 years from me. So it's kind of like siblings, but also like only children. So it's that
Nah,
vibe.
we were siblings.
Okay, continue.
I'm just saying, me and Anthony, we grew up with each other. I left at 15. Well, we moved when I was 14, but he was still there. So it wasn't like your sister left the state. So
Yeah, when I was 8. She was 18. She went to college. So
Exactly.
then from 8 to So for the next 10 years,
Damn, that's
it was
gone.
Yeah. So but
That is only child almost.
yeah,
it is like being, and so like now,
yeah.
now we're like, we're best friends, but that's because we have so much more in common.
Right.
You don't have a lot in common when you're 8 and 18
Right.
versus when you're 31 and 41, because now, like, we're wives, we work, I have a child, and like, it's the responsibilities and stuff like that. We have so much more in there. And then, and then our experiences have aligned, but it's a good question, but you're right though. But like, let's say if you're like 7, 5, and 3, like when as far as your stair step with your experience, the youngest is going to be different than what, like the oldest one. True.
The oldest one fuck around and have a house, be married, great job, everything, and the youngest one be like a rapper or some shit and cut his hair. He got a blonde braid, just rebelling against the whole system. And they can have both father and mother and everything, but the way he identifies in that nuclear family and that nucleus is just different. It comes out completely different. So, but it's still a good answer. It's still a good answer to that.
It is.
You got anything else? You got another one?
The other question she said was, she just asked about what their favorite food was, because she was like,
What would your question be?
Oh, my questions to
Yeah.
know everything about a person. I don't know. I guess I'd want to know. I honestly thought your question was like, what do you love the most and what do you hate the most? Because I feel like that could be very telling about what a person prioritizes,
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
about what a person, what really like riles a person up.
What kind of power they put on things.
Yeah.
And what they hold in.
Yeah.
As far as hate, like you're carrying that around. If it's something, when you say what you hate the most, and you say something like people that push the elevator up when the shit is already glowing.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, that's funny. Like you don't
Yeah.
really have that much. But if you say something like, I just really hate when people, they treat me like this, and I'm just looking at you like, okay, you have some shit going on inside.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So now I can see right through that right now. You have issues. Do you go to therapy? You know what I mean? That'll open up a whole conversation of shit. What do you hate the most from me? Because I'm able to see what kind of weight you're carrying.
What burdens you bear. Because
damn, that was kind of good answers.
I thought I was like, that was a perfect response. I was with you on it. So
Holy shit, I be second guessing myself.
Look at it. You out here, you making sense.
I'm a Pisces trait.
It is a Pisces trait.
We can
maybe
be
not. Maybe
not. Second.
We can be.
Indecisive.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're very.
Oh my God. Now that's what I hate the most. TJ's indecision.
Yeah, because I may
What
be in the
do
mood for this
you
right
want?
now, but 10 minutes go by, I'm like, nah.
Change our whole
Yeah,
mind.
I don't really want this.
And I'm just like, fuck it, we gonna starve. Like, all right. Like, never mind. You got anything, baby?
I was thinking like, what have you been through? Would be my question. Would be one of my questions, because I feel like when you ask people what they've been through, you can get an idea. Like like you said, what's your family like? They may tell you their family dynamic. They may be like, well, I was the middle child and I hate my
that
siblings.
question.
What?
I hate what have you been through? You want to know why? Getting to know somebody and they hit you with all of that shit, that stuff, that's rough, man.
But you only get 2 questions, so
I'm just making sure. I'm probably just trying to have sex.
Yeah.
I don't really want to know about all of this stuff right now. It's a lot.
you right.
It's a lot. Like I do. But can we have sex first? Because I don't want to know.
So you want to
all
have?
that.
So you ask these questions after?
I don't know. I'm just kidding. I just think that these are weighted questions. If you really want to get to know somebody, obviously that was the question. You really want to know everything about them. So obviously you want to. But damn, what have you been through? I hate watching somebody reminisce about hard times. And it's sad to me, like that you're carrying all of this around. As a matter of fact, I was watching. I had a friend over, and I started watching the Michael Jackson documentary.
I haven't seen it yet.
And I had to turn it off. She's like, I don't want to watch this. I don't want to. And I was like, yo, honestly, I respect you so much. I'm kind of disappointed that you didn't want to watch the R. Kelly shit. You don't want to watch the Michael Jackson shit. It's like, yo, you keep saying that you don't care about these things, right? And she's like, honestly, you don't know what I've been through to say that. And I'm like, okay, so now I've known you all this time. You're telling me you've been abused? That's how I said it, right? She's like, well, yeah. And she tells me this whole long story that was very in-depth. And I was sitting there like, oh my God, this makes perfect sense why she would not want to watch.
It's triggering.
It's super triggering. It's exactly what happened with these kids. Why would she want to live through that through all these conversations and all this stuff? And I'm sitting here judging you,
giving her a hard time.
Yeah, it's like, yo, that's crazy. So it's kind of what I was talking about. It's like having to rehash that is such a sad thing sometimes. It's like, fuck.
But if you know it from the jump, then you can move accordingly. Because had she said, listen, I've been through some things in my life and this is triggering, I don't think you would have pushed the issue. But if someone says that they don't care, it's like, all right, well, if you don't care, then why then the problem? Like,
I was like, damn, shorty, like, yo, we talk about all of this stuff and just these things you just always push aside, you know? And these things I have huge debates about and all of this stuff. And you're just like, I don't care. I'm like, that doesn't fit the profile of the person that I admire so much.
But usually, and that could be like the cue though. They're like, maybe there's something more to the story, and which is why, because sometimes, and like, because a lot of people are like that, they don't want to acknowledge or address or bear witness to things that they find triggering because it's going to drudge up everything that they've been through. And I mean, and it's, and like, this kind of, like I said, this was like a heavy icebreaker question, but if you only had to, you literally could only ask 2 questions, then, that could be one, because then you get a bigger picture. Because even though, I can understand what you're saying, like people like that just kind of trying to bring up all their trauma and history just to kind of like for sympathy points sometimes, because people do that, versus somebody genuinely just kind of wanting to know more about your history to get a better understanding of who you are, because we are kind of like a sum of all these other parts of these good and bad experiences. And so if you only had to get one, get the best, most comprehensive understanding of somebody, that could be a really good question to ask. Like, what have you been through, good and bad, And
I mean, I just think it depends on, again, if we're trying to get to know this person, I think knowing people's triggers are important, because you may be doing something that you've always done, and now you got to change it, because if you're going to be with this person, I don't want to do something that's going to trigger you. Like, if I throw glass on the wall and it brings you back to a domestic violence, now... You know what I mean? Now,
why would you throw glass in the wall?
I don't know. I don't know. I seen glasses, like,
You try to break shit in the crib.
He's that's. I get what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're putting down, baby. It's all right.
It's like I was asking. Did I say that right?
Yes.
I was asking her, like, why not? Why not? She's like, I just don't. And like you said, normally, I'm like probing. I'm like, it doesn't make sense. Like, I need things to connect.
Yeah,
I can move on, even if I don't agree. I just need to understand the thought process. All right, that's different. All right, so I'm gonna move on. All right, whatever.
I can't, like, it's like the way that you're talking. It's just like, it's like I'm hearing TJ again. Like, it's
I just need it to make sense.
Exactly.
Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Then fine. We don't agree. Fine.
Exactly.
But when you say some shit that just completely like,
I gotta understand it.
I don't get that. I just don't understand.
Exactly. I want to be able to understand what you're saying. And again, you're right. I don't have to agree with you, but just make it make sense to me. So that way I can be like, okay,
that's it. If I can process the thought pattern, like, all right, that's not how I would look at it, but fine. Okay, fine. But if it's some shit that's just like, I'm looking at a red wall and you're like, it's blue, and I'm like, how the fuck
did you get there?
What are you talking about? I don't get it. I can't walk away from this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring this up every day until you make it make sense. How is that blue? Like the day that you looked at the red wall and said it was blue, I'm gonna always bring it up because it doesn't make sense to me.
You're gonna get a text message, random.
Blue.
Yeah. You're gonna get some like internet searches, some Wikipedias, like, here's what red looks like, here's what blue looks like.
Exactly.
How does this relate? Well,
let me go to this next question. Did you learn how to do your daughter's hair?
I actually learned how to do my own hair. Back in the days, braids and stuff like
Yeah.
that were a thing with men, right? So
Yeah.
I literally be sitting on a corner waiting to sell some drugs and be sitting there braiding my hair into a box braid. Just fucking around with my hair. I literally box braid my own hair, right?
Yeah.
And so as my daughter grew older, I would mess around in her hair. Obviously, she didn't really like it.
you tried.
My daughter, yeah. So like I've braided my daughter's hair before on camera. I did it on Snapchat and everything, and then she was just sitting there with the oh my god, my father's so annoying face, you know. But yeah, I definitely I try my best to be her friend, especially as she got older. I realized that the dad thing is dope, but it's doper when you're like the friend dad too. Like you know when to draw the line. You know when to be aggressive with it, and you also know when to listen and to be compassionate and to be give advice. You know, they grow into adults and they do things that you don't really hope that they never do, but it's part of life, right? And it's just you could be the enemy through that, and then now they're alone. They can't talk to you. They have nobody to relate to except for the people in the street or the whatever. And now they're like defenseless. They only have one line of defense versus the amount of experience and intelligence and knowledge and everything that you could add to their armada. And so that they're walking out there with weapons. So weaponize your children against life. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I do my best to become a part of them on almost every level.
Do you think it's important for fathers to know how to do their daughter's hair?
I don't think it's important for you to know how to do your daughter's hair. I think it's important for you to take the time to be involved in almost every aspect. So if that means doing the hair, shopping with them at American Doll, what's that doll place? You know,
You had it.
You know, if doing the things that you wouldn't consider masculine, or whatever, but the things that matter to your children, especially your daughters, because she needs to know what that type of love is like, right? And it's not just how you identify it; it's how she's going to identify that love.
Yeah.
So if that means doing hair, you know,
Okay.
yeah.
See, if that means that, then
All right. Well, if she asked me to do her hair, I'll learn how to do her hair.
oh my gosh.
So that's a thing for you, the hair thing.
No, this
So
is.
it was
Danny
kinda-
asked me the other day, so
Yeah.
I was like, "This, you know, what I mean, this would be a good question to ask someone who has a daughter." But it's not that I don't mind doing it. Like I know how to do a ponytail. We rocking, you know. But I don't know how to actually braid. But
You got big hands.
I mean, I do. But I mean, if I had to learn, I'm not opposed to learning.
Yeah.
What do you think? There are different ways to bond,
Yeah.
right? And so, at a moment where you give up all of your inhibitions for that person, what do you think that does to the way they understand that communication? Like, how does that communicate to them? As a man, you're masculine,
Yeah.
big hands, you ready to get, you're under the car, you're doing whatever you got to do when it comes to building shelves, this, that, and the other. To shed all of that, and you just completely in pink one day just to match your daughter. How you think that they receive that communication?
That a man will do, like, is gonna take care of you. They're gonna do whatever it is to make you happy.
I think it's empowering for the child.
Yeah.
You know, and especially for daughters, man. They're delicate, Jack.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, sometimes I be doing stuff and she be like, "I'm a girl," and I be like, "That is such a sappy response," but she's a girl.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah.
Tatum's a little rough though. Like right now,
She's too.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like she's jumping off stuff, but
You
that's
encourage-
stuff that I encourage. But you know,
He's
Honestly,
not subscribing to gender norms and nothing like that. He was like, "Oh, you
I
want to
like
jump
to
off the
see
steps?"
that.
He's like,
I li-
"Come on, jump!" Like,
I mean, this is our first child, so this is like also like my first time kind of seeing this human learn. I want to see what what you're afraid of, what you're not afraid of, what you're going to try, what you're not going to try. Like for me, food, I'm very picky.
I got a question.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut it, but
No, go ahead.
my brain is so. Would you like your daughter to come home and say he won't do this because he says that's not man shit?
Nah.
Like you think about what that says in that relationship, right? She has this boyfriend and he won't do certain things. He's like, "Nah, that's girl shit. That's not man." How would you feel about the way he's treating her at that point?
I wouldn't appreciate it at all.
So now you realize that when you say, I don't do that kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
You're teaching her that's man. It's not man shit.
Got you.
Yeah.
Teach her the right. Give her the right
That's
weapons.
a different approach. That's a different way to look
Right?
at it.
Yeah.
So that way, when she looks at the way a dude treats me, like, what do you mean? Like, nah, that's not how we do things over here.
Yeah.
You're gonna cook. You're gonna clean.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna, you're gonna help take care of our child.
See, I've never been one to like follow the norm of, like I hate the like no homo. Like I know I love women. I'm not saying it. I don't care how it sounds. I'm comfortable enough to know that I'm not saying it. And for my daughter, I'll do anything. Right. She wanted to do a tea party, like Danny asked the other day. Like we have a tea set. Are you gonna play? Like, yeah, like whatever she wants, I'm gonna go above and beyond. So
you got the white gloves?
Nah.
You gotta get the white gloves for the tea party, bro.
Oh, yeah, you gotta be. Yeah, it's gotta be dapper. you got.
Sorry, no, I'm a guess.
Oh, so
you can. I'll get the white gloves.
Show up with the gloves,
the tie and everything. Right. We got to put her in a little dress and all that stuff. But I mean, I know he would do it. And I asked it mainly because I was just like, and I really didn't even ask it because I thought it was like, I thought he was gonna be like, you're the mother, it's your responsibility to do her hair, whatever. I get that. I think I more so asked it because I was thinking more like, what if I'm sick or I'm not around?
That's fair.
And like you need to do her hair in some manner. Like, I just want to make sure that he is able to do these things or knows how to do these things.
My ponytails is fire.
Okay.
Them ponytails be rocking.
Yes, her little top bun, messy top bun is great.
Yeah, I be rocking with those. But
so that's the main thing. It's just about just making sure that because I think that it's in parenting, like you sometimes fall into these roles where like, oh well, Danny always does this. So she got it covered.
Definitely. And when you went away, I was like, oh shit. Like
I got the text like, I really appreciate all that you do.
But I'm saying you have to go through those experiences to be able to really appreciate those things. Like, my wife does, she's a wife, she's a mother. But when you're not there, it's like, oh shit, damn, she really does all this. Like it meant so much more. So, me doing the ponytails, that was like, I didn't YouTube or nothing. I'm just like, when I used to have hair, I put in a ponytail. Yeah. But you're right,
It's and I think that's all that really, like, just trying to find that out. But I think the conversation about fathers and daughters is so important because it is y'all are the first men that they will ever love. My dad was the first love of my life. Oh my God!
Like, he was an amazing father,
and he was a father only to daughters.
I have a lot of guidance from that. Like just seeing how he treated Danny and Shayla, it was like, oh, okay. My father had boys, so that's what he taught boys. But my father, like, he loves the shit out of Tatum and his nieces, and he's the fun uncle, and everybody love him. But to see what her father did for her, like when we were dating, he used to come drive from Queens to Harlem to pick her up. And we're talking about like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Because I didn't have to take the train home, but I wanted to like go. I was going on dates, and like my school was up here, and he would come and like jump in the car, come across the Triborough, pick me up, and bring me back home.
It was never an issue. It was never like we don't like him. He
took me to get on birth control.
Yeah,
I feel like a mad bad dad right now.
No, why?
I'd be like, all right, just let me know when you get home. I'm going back to sleep.
Yeah, but again, I had that example, so. For me to see that, if when Tatum is dating in that situation, if it's the same situation, I can never be like, nah. Yeah. I can never be like, no, I won't do it. We missed our bus to go back to Maryland, and he drove us to Maryland.
When we were in college, we had kind of like a mega bus hookup, or whatever, but it fell through. So like, and it was us. It was Eric was there too, I think. And then,
I don't remember Eric was there. I just remember that he drove us.
So at least it was us, yeah. Like, and I called my dad, and I was like, Daddy, I'm like, I don't know how we're going to get back to Baltimore tonight. And we have class in the morning, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, okay. Came from Brooklyn, came to Harlem, picked us up, drove us to Baltimore.
And drove right back.
And turned right back around and came home. And I guess, like, my dad took when we decided, I was decided ready to start having sex or whatever. I tried to go to my mom and my sister, like, I'm ready to get on birth control. My mother's exact words was, she was like, "It is not all it's cracked up to be, and he is a junior." That's what she said. And she kept cleaning the microwave. I never forget that. She was like cleaning the kitchen, and she was like, get the hell out of here. And I had to I went to my dad, and I was like, this is what it is. This is how I feel. And I remember, he said, he was like, "I'm sorry." And I thought he was going to be like, "I'm sorry, like I can't help you." But he was like, "I'm sorry that you had to go through so many other people and get all these no's that you felt like I was your last resort." And he was like, "If you're coming to me, that means you must be really serious about it, because you've never come to me about anything like this before." And he was like, "I'll take you." And he took me. My first GYN appointment, my dad took me to. And I got on birth control. And he was like, by no means. He was like, "I don't condone it." He was like, "I'm not condoning what you're doing." He was like, "But if you're coming to me, I got to." He had to weaponize me. He had to, show that I was ready. My dad was
he was phenomenal. Yeah, when it comes to raising a daughter, he gave me the blueprint.
Shit.
His blueprint was.
I wish he was my dad. I do. Yeah. I didn't have one, and so I'm learning all this shit. Y'all just taught me some shit right now. I gotta get up and go get her.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
I mean, you can send Uber if you want it.
I send Uber.
Okay.
Oh yeah. See, I mean, it's a different. We're in a different world. This was different times, but yeah, send an Uber or Lyft, because he wasn't gonna have his daughter riding from Harlem to Queens at 1:00 in the morning.
She asked me for ginger ale last night, and I didn't get it. Am I a bad dad?
No, you're not a bad dad.
I wasn't home, and I just forgot on the way home.
You forgot. Dads forget. He wasn't perfect.
Nah,
he was
that's different.
That's different. Yeah, but my dad was always a little scary. Yeah.
She hasn't texted me since.
Oh, so. She's still mad. She's like, "I'm too thirsty to text."
Yeah, right.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, he was a different guy, and and being a dad, it's like, even to the point, I even say this, like, I am very happy. We didn't find out what we were having when I was pregnant until Tatum was born, so we didn't know if we were having a boy or girl. Mm-hmm. And when she came out, and TJ was like, "It's a girl," and I was like, "How do you know?" And he was like, "Look at her face. It's a girl face." And then I was like, "Okay." And then we saw the rest of her and we confirmed it. Yeah. And then, but like, it made me really happy, because I get to now see, like, I think every man should have a daughter in my mind, like, because. And I do think every mother should have I think a mother should have a son too, but I feel like especially like men, like daddies and daughters, there's something about that relationship. It's so powerful. It's so meaningful. And my sister and I, absolutely some lucky women to have had the dad we had. But it made me so happy that Tatum is a girl, because now TJ can do those things too, and be that same way, and feel that same dynamic, and Tatum gets to have that same experience too, but with him, and it's not going to be the same, exactly same, because he is not my father, my father was not him, but that bond, because there's times where, like, I walk in and I'm chopped liver, like, yeah, I'm mommy when you need me, but she's like up under him, and I'm like, you know what, that's fine, I only carried you for 41 weeks, but whatever. But
damn, you did the whole thing.
I did
41.
Yes, 41 weeks. They had to.
She would not let go.
Yeah, she was chilling. She was real comfortable.
She was like, "Turn the TV up."
Exactly. Wait, let's get to like our third question, right? Mm-hmm. So, you obviously, you're a father. You have multiple children. We're still on our first one. So this is another one where I kind of want your intake. So, what are the benefits or the struggles of having multiple children? Because we disagree now on how many children we will ultimately have.
The benefits of having multiple children are having babysitters, people to entertain each other, and I also think that the benefits of having multiple children, they have a camaraderie. Mm-hmm. They're the first ones to teach each other friendship, and not hate, but that competition, right? So, but it's a healthy growing thing. It's building, it's character building when you have multiple children who they're able to relate to each other in that fashion. Some of the things that I would say, aren't that dope, or is troubling, is difficult, is that you have to treat each one like they're their best child.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got to really learn each child. And you got to, if I give one a hug, I can't not hug the other one. And it's not that it can't happen, because it can, but you don't get into a pattern of it because they're learning. They're paying attention. They feel. You don't know what they're going through in their room at night where they're like, oh, he got the nice sweater. He got the sweater I wanted. Or, you know, he always comes in and put his sneakers on first. Why don't you ever put my sneakers on first? You don't know. You know what I mean? So you legit always have to be best friend, best kid with all of them. We're doing this with AJ today. And then tomorrow we're doing this with Amari today. You know what I mean? And AJ helped this, or Amari helped this. It's just continuously. And then with my daughter versus the twins. She sees that I'm always going to get the twins. I have to take her out for date nights. I have to do things for her that are legit just for her.
Yeah.
Because everybody's the twins. You know, when she's older, she doesn't have a sister or anything like that.
Yeah.
She can't, she's just babysitter like at this point.
Yeah.
So I have to do things that matter just for her. So it's very difficult being a parent. But like I said, when they have their own camaraderie, I'm pulling up the other day. It snowed. They all had their little snow banks with the snowballs waiting for me. My daughter called me like, "Where you at? You gotta come to the house real now." I'm like, "Oh God, they want to hit me." I already
They
knew
plotting
what it
on
was.
you.
Yeah. She's like, "No, you have to come right now." I'm like, "All right." So I parked across the street. I took out my phone, and they see me. So they're like, my sons come running down with the balls. I get out the car. We start playing. But it was good, man. It's good with they have somebody to be friends with. You know, as you could say later on in life, your sister becomes one of your best friends.
Absolutely.
You know, so that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I'm definitely not a one and done type of mom. I definitely at least want one more. But
Sure, as fast as possible. I'm talking about quick. I'm sorry. I know financially right now you might think, but just think about the gap later on.
Yeah.
You would rather 2, 4, 6 than 2, 6, 10. You're literally a parent for the next 30 years, 40, 50 years. Like the growing part of parenthood. Whereas you can just do it right now, get it all out the way, and go travel in 20 years. You're out of here. You're living your life.
Yeah, and that's what they do, and that's fine.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Well, and even then, your mom was really young.
She was in her 20s.
Yeah.
And she had Anthony at 18. I was at 25. But seeing that, like literally, like when they took me to college, they were gone.
That's it.
They be like,
My mother started cooking differently. She started.
He would come home. He'd be like, "You ain't never made this when I was here."
She started traveling like way more, and you kind of got to see that, like, oh shit, you know.
Yeah, they did their job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 44 is out.
Yeah.
What did he say when he dropped the mic?
Yep.
And he went about his business.
Yeah.
That's your parents.
You're right, and I get that, and I'm not opposed to, like, I'm not trying to wait 7 years between Tatum and the next kid, nothing like that.
She gets 7, we done.
No, but it's for us more. It's about like
We're not done.
the number of kids is where we disagree on, and that's the thing. Like I'm like 2, maybe 3. I'm more like we'll have another one, and we'll see what 2 feels like, and then we decide if we could do another one. He wants 4. I'm not giving. I can't do 4 because
cool.
what you got to look at it too. Though.
God's gonna give us
whenever.
triplets.
Shut up. So what you got to look at is like I'm also you got think about it from the woman's perspective too, which is like it's a for let's say for the first 41 weeks, that's almost a year. It's 10 months. Everything's happening to the woman. Everything is like you're going through. I'm not saying
you're built for it.
I get it, but it doesn't take away from the fact that it's still a lot. It's still a lot. Like I hate it.
They think that it's all about them. It's like
it is in the beginning.
It is, but we have to do it as a good man, good partner. We have to do it with you. Every single thing that you go through, I go through. Like I know you feel it, but I'm being empathetic. Me feels it with you, and I have to compensate for it and things that I do to help you.
So can you understand why it might take a woman a little bit more time? And every woman is different, but in my experience, in my perspective, like can you empathize with why I might need a little time to?
I just don't like the way that y'all always tell men man up. When it comes to man shit, y'all be like, man up, you'll be all right. But But we can't tell you that about women shit.
What,
yo,
to
it's
woman
women
up?
shit.
'Cause, like,
he said
just
that's what you're built for. This literally
carry this baby and have
Man,
it.
go ahead, get the babies out your. Come on.
Oh
Man.
my God.
Man, go ahead. Do
You know,
what
y'all are,
That's what you built for.
y'all are talking like two people who can't have fucking kids. That's why. That's
Same.
I'm
'cause-
so glad my co-host ain't here.
Oh.
She would be like, if you don't get the fuck out of here with this bullshit.
it's like it's
She
fine.
would-
it's
she would
fine.
go off
When
on me
you
right
when you're, you know, your bladder is just, somebody like literally a human being
Yeah, I
is
know.
sitting on it. And
rearranges.
then
I'm not taking away from you.
you know
at
your
all.
organ. So you talk about how I know a bunch of trivia, right? So your organs like shift when you're pregnant, and it takes up to a year for them to. It could take up to a year for them to move back into place, and
That's kind of fly.
it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I feel
like
like
a
women are
convertible.
superhuman. Like we are superheroes. Like I do.
Exactly.
But-
But superhumans.
Okay.
You are built for this.
I am. Yeah. Okay. So I'm built for like one more, maybe
cool.
another after that. Before
3 is good.
Yeah, that's what I said. I really want a 4, but I'll settle
So
for
my
3.
thing is this. Well, let's think about Tatum.
Uh-huh.
You guys experience 8, 18, 7, and 15, right? 2. What do you think would be more fun, more engaging, more of a good thing for her? 7 and 15, 7
No,
and 10?
I'm more like I'm thinking like
Probably 3 or 4.
I'm down for like
So next year?
I would say within the next year or two.
So after grad school, get
After I
pregnant,
graduate,
After grad school, then we can.
I gotta watch Game of Thrones. And
we're gonna
then-
watch Game of
Exactly.
Thrones,
And then
and
we're
I
gonna-
can I
This is amazing.
I want to
Are
lose.
we-
I plan on losing a lot of weight, and so that's another thing because I have to take that into consideration as well. Because I got we were very lucky the first time. TJ and I have always struggled with our weight, but like I was actually way less. I didn't gain much when I was pregnant. I weighed less before I got pregnant, and then like life happened, so I put on more weight. But like my pregnancy was super uneventful. It was like textbook perfect, like no issues. I was probably healthier pregnant than I was before or after. And only until I had to have a C-section did I have any type of like complication. But
she really wasn't trying to come out.
no, she was. She was
She's
chill.
like, yo, I'm
She was cooling.
She was cool. She was doing what she does now, which is like I'm gonna do it when I'm good and goddamn ready. Like, and but I want to focus on that. But we have an idea. But like even when we decided to start trying for a baby, I got pregnant the first month we tried.
Yeah.
Like
My man.
I don't get no debt for that. I'm fertile. Shout out to you for being fertile, Danny. Like, but thank you.
bad. I'm
Thank
sorry.
you.
I left
Thank
you
you.
out.
Thank you. It's a joint effort here. But yeah, like no.
I looked at him. I said, "My man."
Yeah.
I swear to God, it was like so fast. I wasn't even ready. I was like, oh, I'm about to like live it up this summer, and I'm like, we can start trying in the summer because I'm a teacher, so that way I can have, if we have a baby like, I get pregnant in like September, I'll have a baby in June, July. Like we started in July. My birthday is July 16th. July 18th, I went to Target. And I was like, I need pregnancy tests in the house if we're going to be trying, right? So I'm like, I'll buy some while I'm at Target. And I got home and I was like, I got to pee anyway. I was like, playing around, like shits and giggles. I was like, it's 3 or 4 in the box. I was like, I could waste one.
Let me just see that motherfucker.
Took one. And I went, I fed the dog. I came back. I looked on the sink at the top. I was like, oh. I looked in the mirror and I was just like, because I knew it was possible, but I was like, not the first month. Like, I was like 2 seconds pregnant, and them 2 lines were like, boom, like there.
Yep. Yeah. Y'all ready?
And I said, oh, okay. I said, this is what we about to do. So he came home, and I was like, I surprised him. Like, TJ has like a kind of an online shopping habit. And so
It's actually slowed down a little bit.
That's
A little
parenthood. And
Parenthood.
so I got a box from like UPS or something, and I pretended like he had a package, and I put the test in there. And he was like, where did I order this from? And I was like, I don't know. And he opened it up, and then he still was like, what the fuck is this? And I put a card in there too. So once he opened the card, he got it.
Yeah.
You ready? What did the card say? You remember?
It said,
I don't. Whatever the card said, it basically referenced that I was gonna be a father. Because I remember I said, really?
yeah. And then I was like, I said,
Yeah.
I put love. I was like Danny, and I was like baby Byerson. And it was like March 20, like the due date. My due date was like the end of March. So I was like March 2017. And he was like, really? He was like, how do you know? And I was like, I was like, I took a test. What do you mean?
That
And
shit
then-
just gave me chills.
Yeah.
Really?
That
Oh.
just gave me chills. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Shout out to you guys, man. for
Yeah,
real.
listen, we out here trying. We just trying to do right and kill everything. Drake, look at that.
You right to kill everything. Shout out to OVO.
Yes. But so being a dad, like what do you think has been one of like your biggest fears or concerns in being a father? Because
That my kids don't love me.
really, how do you overcome
I've
that?
been through a part in my life when I went away. When I was younger, I didn't have no dad, and I rebelled super hard against my mom and my family, super hard. And I was in prison, and my mom brought my daughter there, and I'm looking at this little girl in this room full of fucking wild motherfuckers, and she's there, just coloring and whatever, and I'm looking at her, and I'm like, you're failing. You failed. You have your daughter in a prison. And so my mom got to believe. I said, don't bring her back. Don't bring her back here. And I had to go back to my room or cell or whatever the hell. And I laid there and I was like, she's going to come visit somebody else here. Because she's used to it. You're making her used to it. She doesn't have you out there. She doesn't have you. You're not even in her life. She has no idea the good things. All she sees is what she sees when she walks past you in the street or whatever. She doesn't know that you care, that you have, any type of love, of empathy in your heart for her or whatever. And boy, when I tell you, that shit really just changed. I came home. I'm bringing her gifts. I'm coming from I was living in the Bronx because I wanted to move away from where I was hustling at because I wanted to change my life. I'm coming all the way through here with gifts just to drop it off. Just, let me take it to get something to eat. And I'm just doing all of these things. And so I remember at one point, I used to be abusive to her mom. And I remember I was talking to her one day and she was like, you're going to hit me like you hit mom. And I always cry when I say that, but I was very hurt that she remembered that, from years, maybe 3-4 years ago, whatever. And I'm so hurt that she remembered. I was like, yo, you've taught her so much fucked up shit. I never had another abusive relationship after that. And I realized that I had to do so much to correct the harm that I had caused. And so to answer your question, even with her and with my sons, the worst thing that could possibly happen to me is to fail as a father. You know what I mean? Like, it's the only thing I really care about.
Yeah.
All the rest of this shit, I promise you, I could lose my job, I could lose my house, I could lose the fun, the internet could crash right now, the podcast could get one follower, with one view. It really wouldn't matter as much to me, or even in the same level, spectrum, anything, is if your kids stop answering your calls, don't care about what you think,
Definitely.
despise you, talk about you crazy, like, whatever. Me and my dad don't have a relationship. Me and my mom called him on my birthday and was like, yo, you should call your son. And he was like, yo, he should call me. It was like,
That's not how this works. You're the parent.
I didn't ask to be here, dude.
Exactly. And no
I
matter
didn't
how
ask
old
to
you
be
are,
here.
like,
You know what I mean? It's my birthday. Like, even if you did have beef with me,
Yeah.
you doing that on my birthday, like,
Yeah.
my mom, it's her day too. It's the day she gave birth.
yeah.
So she's calling the person that she gave birth to, like, remember that, and he's doing all these things, and he's big now. He's, and my dad is like, man, suck my dick, I don't care. And so, but I learned that.
Yeah.
And so I started treating my kids like that, right? And so, but I don't want that for my kids. I don't want them to one day look at me and be like, fuck out of here. Or, he
Yeah.
don't treat me the way he should. Or I'm going to learn not to be like him for my children. 'Cause that's what I had to do. And so, yeah, to answer that, the worst thing that could possibly happen is for my kids to not value me, to not feel the way you do about your father. Like, so now when I'm listening to that, I'm like, oh, I got work to do. And those people like, oh, you're a great dad. Now I got work to do because I go get her ginger ale as soon as the shit is over.
Listen,
It don't matter. It won't matter.
And that's I think that's as powerful to say, because you want to make sure that, like, children, like, their parents are the first example of everything, of how to move in
How
this
to
world,
act.
how to act, how to love, how to hate, how to whatever, like, and your biases, your fears and stuff, like, all of that translates to your kids. And I can totally understand that, because I couldn't, I wouldn't be a fraction of who I am if it wasn't for my parents. A fraction. I would, and even though as you get older, you see you start to understand the flawed human beings that your parents are, because no one's perfect. Right. I can appreciate that the sacrifice and the time and effort that they put into me and my sister to make us the women that we are today. Right. And now we can, and now I'm going to do that with my child, because she just like you said, like kids don't ask to be here. Right. We wanted to have her, right. or even accidents happen. I was in accidents. Like accidents happen, whatever.
I was playing.
But whatever. But we still here, so it don't matter how we got here.
Exactly.
But
I'm just saying.
The point I'm trying to make is like, the kids, like you said, they didn't ask for this. So, like, I'm not. You can't give your kid your ass to kids like at all, because they are the child. I don't give a fuck if you're 40, if you're 50. You are still the parent. So you are going to make sure that you are reaching out, because if that's your job, to make sure that you're checking on your kid. Because, like, I will say this, like, in losing a parent, like, you don't realize how much you need them sometimes, even as an adult. Like, you need them, but like it's not that that baseline. Like, sometimes I joke when, like, since we have such a young daughter, that, like, I gotta keep her alive. Like, I'm talking like fed and clothed and bathed and warm and safe. Like, that's stressful, because it's like in the beginning of parenting, it's about like
super stressful.
Yeah, it's about like, I gotta keep you alive. I gotta make sure you're breathing. I gotta
up in the middle of the night. I
gotta
get up. She's breathing.
Exactly.
I used to wake her up. I used to like
nudge her,
and I
used to be like, if you don't leave her the fuck alone, she's asleep. I'm telling you.
Nah,
she ain't moving. Hold on.
Exactly.
Okay.
I do that shit now. I'll look.
He'll be like, Tatum.
I'll look on the couch and see her, or on the bed, and I'll be like,
watch for her chest to rise and fall.
All right, she's good. Not because it is scary. It's like when Dani left me with her for the first time, her father came down, but it was still like she fell, right? Yeah. So she fell off the couch. I was like, listen,
3 months old.
She rolled. So I woke up and I hear her crying. And I'm like, Tatum, but she's not there. I look, she's on the floor. I'm like, oh shit, Dani gonna kill me. So I'm like, all right, her father's upstairs. I'm not gonna tell him yet. I'm like, all right, so do I call Dani now, or what do I do? So I'm like, I gotta tell her. Like I cannot not tell her. So I'm like, Tatum fell. She's good. I spoke to the doctor. Like, I had to make sure that I had everything.
Tatum was 3 months old.
Yeah, but that happened to me too.
Yeah. But, I mean, it happened.
But the moms dropped her in my case.
Okay.
She fell out the bed with me once too. Like, it happened.
So when that happened,
she was a little older.
We're mad bad parents.
Like, you're just so tired. You're
dropping our kids.
Yeah. You be so tired, and they roll.
But then you realize they made out of titanium,
or rubber.
Yeah.
Like, they bounce. That's all.
Yeah.
But though, I say this because didn't you call your mom?
Yeah, so call my mother first.
So listen, so that's the thing. Like, in the beginning, right, you gotta just keep them alive, right? But then when you get older, it's like you need your parents, because it's like, I need somebody who's been through something, or I need somebody who knows what they're doing, has that wisdom.
Yeah.
So like he has something where he was, screwing up or keeping her safe a little bit in the physical sense. So he calls his mom, because you always need your parent. But yeah, parenting is the best, hardest job. I always say, like, being a mom or having a child is like the most amazing, exhausting thing I've ever done. And so with that being said, you just do what you can. You do what you can, and you go from there, and you try, and you're gonna fuck up. But I think it's important that, like, your kids, they see the effort.
Right.
The effort, however it looks, and everybody's effort looks different, but trust and believe that is being internalized, and it's going to have these positive, like, ramifications and ripple effect down the line. Because everything that we do today doesn't always, like, resonate in kids' heads.
Right.
I know that from teaching middle school, but a month, a year, 10 years from now, it will.
Right.
What do you teach your sons about being a black man?
Well, my sons are autistic, so they don't really retain the information the same way that we would retain it. But I don't know if I can answer that with them. I can answer it more with my daughter. Just because the way we, like I said, the way they retain information is just completely different.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, you got to take a different approach. And it actually goes into like our second question, because I was going to say, we was going to ask, what do you teach your daughter about men?
So let me just go into the advice that I would give. Black women have endured, I don't know how long. I'm not even going to say centuries. I don't know how the fuck long it's been. But they carry the same weight that black men carry, except for more, because of the weight that they carry that the black man puts on them. And I'm not sure.
Give yourself a clap for that.
Oh, you like that?
I did.
You like that?
I did.
I'll do it real low because you can't clap for oppression.
Okay. but the fact that you recognize it is what I'm clapping.
I'm not sure if white people go through that. I don't know the white dynamic, right? But I think that women in themselves, and not to bunch black women and white women carry a lot more of the weight of relationships. Men, we go about our business, we do all this stuff, and we say, women, you're supposed to be like this. You're supposed to do this. And the women have been cooking and cleaning and nurturing and taking care of the kids and all of this stuff and dealing with the black anger, man, the shit that we go through as men and, you know, rejection that we get from society, and yet hold our hands and push us forward and have faith in us. And we rarely do that back. We as men black men have always said black people, but we've been talking about us. We kind of been talking about ourselves, black men, right? And it's fucked up because I don't want it to sound like that, but it's just true. If you look at the black men that die by racial shit or whatever, or they get shot or whatever, you got 1 million people out there. It's like, this was wrong. This was wrong.
Yep.
You hear about a black woman do it, it's 20,000 people out there, all women, right?
Yep.
Very, very, very often, black men aren't there unless they're supporting their black woman that's there. They aren't just showing up. Right?
Makes sense.
And so in teaching, what I would say to black men is to recognize the power in the person that you have next to you. She is not subordinate to you. She is not a tool to be used by you to further yourself. She is not somebody that you should take advantage of. She's a powerful, powerful individual that you are lucky to have on your team. When they turn their back on you, nigga, your shit falls apart. If you have somebody in your life and she says, you know what, I'm done, nigga, you're done. That's it. You have to rebrand completely. And for my black women, I would just say, don't take second. Take first. All the time. Take first. Don't settle for second. Don't let nobody tell you second. Don't let nobody treat you second. You are the most powerful being on this planet, and we can see it in our culture, fashion, TV, anything, engineering, science. Black women are incredible. There's no male Rosa Parks. It was Rosa Parks. Get the fuck out of here. I'm gonna sit right here. Fuck you. There are pictures in of black women saying, you know what, you're not gonna violate him, violate me. I just want black women to understand their power. I want us black men to say, you know what, take a step back, build them up. I'm not that good at it. I'm still working. I am. This shit I'm learning right now. I promise you. I still say bitch, hoe, jokingly or whatever. I don't really know how it affects people, so I'm still trying to work on not doing it or whatever. But it happens in jokingly, in my videos and shit like that.
But the fact that you're able to identify and be able to say, you know what, I know this is who I am, but it may offend somebody, so maybe I won't use it.
I'm trying. Sometimes
it's to try.
It's
okay to try. For me, I'm always about progress. Shoot 100 shots. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least you trying.
I'm working on it.
And I think that's great because I think it brings us to pretty much our last question, which we were going to touch on, which is, being that we've been, following you and for some time now in this last, I guess, the year and a half, you've kind of gone on this journey of sorts to like a new Tahoe, right? And being more willing, to listen to other perspectives of people who lead different lives than yourself, and learn more about them and be more patient with others and more patient with yourself and changing things. And like you there's nothing wrong with being a work in progress because it's still progress, right? You don't have to be there yet in order to still be moving in the right direction. And so in what ways though has that, like how have you seen that improve your own like overall life? And what are some other things that you're like working on right now as far as like the better, the new and improved 2.0 Tahoe?
You know, for one, I'm gonna say this. The reason I know why I was like that. I was scared to be different. I was scared to. I think men are like that. I don't think men are as confident as we think we are.
I agree.
I think that we pushed off. We put out that we are. That's our wall, right? I don't want you to see how vulnerable I am.
It's like overcompensating.
I don't, right. And so the ignorance is that, what are they gonna say about me? What are they gonna think about me if I accept different? It's easier for me to live in this space. It's easier for me to not care about gay people or not care about women. Oh, fuck you, y'all all right. It's it's easy for me to say fuck you than to listen. It's because changing means that I actually have to change. I'm comfortable being where I'm at.
Change is uncomfortable.
What's on the other side of change? I don't really know if I like it in that dark space.
It's the great unknown.
I've lit this space the fuck up. With personality, I have my friends and my backing here. They know who I am. I don't have to care about anybody. I have to care way too much over there. I was scared of that, right? And so in rebranding, it just meant to me, I just stopped being scared. Period. I felt more after a moment, after Cuddy left, and I said, you know what? I want to talk to gay people. Let me listen to them. What's up? I want to tell you how I feel. I'm going to listen to how you feel. But it actually, believe it or not, I learned something. It wasn't put on. I learned in that conversation with XD something about myself. Oh, shit. I was taught that in the street. Holy shit. Did y'all listen to that conversation?
Yeah.
So it's like, when he was like, yo, who told you that was masculine? And I was like, I don't know. I didn't have a dad. I thought that was mad. So what is masculine? He was like, yo, you're putting all of these toxic things under the definition of masculine. All of those things those are fucked up things.
Exactly.
That's not real.
Yep.
You were taught that.
It's socially constructed.
Yeah.
And you're responding to it through that.
Yep.
You're a victim of that. And I was like, oh yeah, I am. And that made me excited. I got horny for that change. I literally was like, give me more. I want to figure out what's wrong with me, right? Why I'm thinking like that. And then I also realized that I'm able to talk to people. Now I'm creating an armada of people who are like, oh shit, we are victims of the way this shit was. So to answer your question, because I keep going on for
It's
long.
fine.
To answer your question, I think I just want to be a better person overall. I do. I want to be a better person that is still in touch with who I was.
Yeah.
So that I'm able to talk to people that are still there
Yeah.
in their language and ask them, why do you think that that's cool? Why do we think that's cool? Why are you scared to come over here? Why are you scared to learn? Why are you scared to change? Why are you scared to be nice to people? And hopefully exact change through that. Damn, I hate when I have a word and I forget it. Through that connection that I have with them.
Yeah.
You know, because you can't be over here talking to people over there. They're not listening.
Yeah.
I think that's important.
You're a
Though.
conduit. You
Conduit. That's what I was going to say.
see, I be knowing my
Conduit.
words.
I think it's important, especially because of where you come from,
Right.
who you were.
Right.
You know. So for the people in the streets, they're not gonna listen to me.
Right.
I didn't live the streets.
Right.
But you can speak to someone
They
who
are
lived in the
in my
streets.
fucking mention. My niggas, they used to hustle with me, keep cracking their ass, minks on their back, selling crack with me. They in the comments.
Yeah.
Like, yo, Tahoe, that was funny as shit. Or, yo, that's real.
Yeah.
Nah, that's 100. And guess what? he might go home to his family.
It's gonna change.
That's completely different.
And
be like, yo, why we do that? Now we ain't gonna do that.
Or oh shit, Tahoe made point. He made sense on this. Okay,
make it make sense.
We can change. You know, a lot of times, like even with like homophobia, I think a lot of people like society has made it that way until you have like a relative or you experience somebody and now you're either gonna hate them or you're gonna have to change.
Right.
But with you, because you are from the street, you're a black man, you know what it is, you can speak to them on their level and make it easier. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because it's like, even for the kids, there's a lot of kids who want the street life, or at least they think they want the street life. They're not really built for the street life, but you know, they heard a Dipset song and now they want to be gangbanging until it's really about that. And it's like, oh shit.
It's time to bang the gang.
But with you being able to get both sides, I think that's important. I think your growth will help those people, because there's gonna be people who identify with you and be like, oh shit, if Tahoe's doing it, then I can do it. You know what I mean? I can be who I should be, because I see that.
And they see the benefits of it. They see, oh, my comments is chicks. Yeah. They're like, hold up, wait a minute.
Exactly. It's like
being positive works.
Being open-minded.
I don't have to be negative all the time.
Yeah.
This nigga got mad chicks over here.
Toxic masculinity isn't a good thing.
It's corny being like that. The world is changing.
Yeah.
And I'm able to do that through this phone, through that podcast. Yeah. And I'm glad I'm on the right side of it.
That's dope.
I'm really glad I'm on the right side of it.
And I personally would say I'm very, I'm sure I speak for both of us, like I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
in that because some people don't, you know, because it doesn't, as people get older, people get more stuck in their ways more often than not, and so it's very hard to try to unlearn things that you've always thought to just be fact, like not non-negotiables. And so to move forward with that and trying to educate yourself, and then also trying to bring others along with you, is all any of us can do. And especially, but it's even, I would dare say it's even harder if that's like, if you didn't grow up understanding how the world is different and stuff like that, and now you have to unlearn things to relearn and learn new things. That shit is hard. And then to try and also bring other people with you is commendable. So like, you know, make sure, I appreciate that you're doing it, and like, you know, keep doing what you're doing, because, and I don't know where, I'm sure this quote is floating in my head from, I don't know if it's like from Harry Potter or some shit like that, but like, it's kind of like, it's like a small light in a dark room, somebody said, like, you know, and like is your mind or your experiences, but once you turn on like the smallest of lights, it starts to illuminate the darkness, and then you start to, and then like, you know, light spreads way more than darkness does. And so just you know, you just keep it up, and because like we're watching, we've seen it, and you know, and it matters, and it's impactful, and you're making a difference. And you know, and I think that's all any of us are ever trying to do is with this, you know, he and I we do it because we trying to make sure we stay connected with each other in this time in our lives where it's really, sometimes it's hard to kind of like be husband and wife at times, but then also too to help other people, or to give other people an opportunity to speak their truth, and as it pertains to relationships or marriage or parenthood, because the hats that we wear define us so much that, you know, we need an opportunity to talk about it. Right. But, you know, that being said, we thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for having me on.
Yes. And
I don't know if I pressed that button at the right time. It just felt good.
Yep.
And yeah, I'll talk about it on my show that I was on here. And
we appreciate it.
You guys asked some really good questions. You had me stumped for a minute.
It's all right. That's okay. We just try to, you know,
got through it.
Got you. We just try to make people think. We try to make people laugh, and you know, and just enjoy our time with folks. But, you know, Tahoe, I mean, who doesn't know So Shameless at this point? But if you want to let them know where they can find So Shameless, and then we'll make sure we wrap this up and give our handles. Is there anything?
Yeah. So Shameless is on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, everywhere.
Anywhere.
Almost everywhere.
Yeah.
That you can find this stuff at. And listen with open mind. So Shameless is really a show with people who have asked the difficult questions. Everybody wants to be popular. Nobody wants to say nothing to go against the grain. Everybody's scared, right? And so with So Shameless is like, a lot of times we have said, you know what, we're gonna do what most people is not gonna do. We're gonna say what people is thinking that they know is not cool to say, right? But not in a way that's aggressive. In a way we talk about it. And so that's why I think that my new co-host Daja Bell, who replaced Cuddy after a long time, me trying to find somebody that was worthy. She is so powerful because first of all, she's eloquent in the way she speaks, but she's also very passionate. She combats the way society has taught us to react, and she's the new generation talking to me, the older generation, and she be getting in my ass, boy, I swear. So I can't wait till she comes back. She went on maternity leave for a couple weeks, but I think she'll be back either tomorrow or next week.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So that shout out to her. Shout out to DJ Trauma, who's been my best friend for a long time.
Yep.
And he's also the reason, the voice of reason on the show between me and Dodge going at it. You can also catch me on Instagram, Tahoe_TV. I talk inspirational shit. I be joking a lot of times. You really don't know what you're gonna get. If you're gonna see me, you're gonna feel something from day to day, and I think that's just what life is.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And with that being said, I guess this is another episode of Lovers Quarrel. And, you know, as always, you can follow us on Instagram at Lovers Quarrel Show, on Twitter at Lovers Quarrel 7. If you want to email us with questions, concerns, comments, headaches, heartaches, whatever floats your boat, email us at loversquarrelshow@gmail.com. We're on all the platforms. So like, share, tag, subscribe, do all the things that you can do through your phone. And, yeah, I think this is honestly one of my favorites so far.
Yeah.
And
it was a straight conversation.
I appreciate it. That's the best kind. And y'all know how we do. I'm your girl, Dani.
And I'm your guy, TJ.
And as always, we fuss.
We fight.
But we love. Bye.
Bye.
Don't take my end.
Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.